Hey everyone, Mark Hessman here, host of On the Mark on News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. Thank you so much for joining us on our YouTube Wednesday shows. And we are now officially about 30 hours away from Caleb Williams officially becoming the next quarterback of the Chicago Bears. So I wanted to take this Wednesday episode and focus in on what I think are realistic expectations for Caleb Williams as a Chicago Bear. And so there is a lot of chatter, a lot of talk, you know what I mean? Like what is going to be a bust? What's going to be a successful season? Let me kind of put a little context and break it all down. You ready for this? First and foremost, I want to start by saying I'm extremely excited for Caleb Williams to become a Chicago Bear. I think Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in this draft. He is the prospect I trust the most. He is the guy I want the Bears to choose at number one. I think very highly of Jane Daniels. I think Jane Daniels can end up having a great career depending on where he lands and the support he gets. I think the same thing about Drake May. I think those three guys are the guys I would trust to draft. In the top of the draft, I'm not as sold on J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr. I think they're very solid players who could have solid careers or even good careers depending on where they end up. But I think Caleb Williams is the special one because he's the first person I truly feel this way. When you watch some of the tape, it's the first person you say to yourself, that looks like Patrick Mahomes. That really looks like Patrick Mahomes in a special level. So I want to jump into it. When you go to Bears Twitter and you go and look through, the internet and the Bears Reddit forums and everyone talking about the Chicago Bears, the thing you see all the time is we need a 4,000-yard, 30-touchdown guy. We've never had the 4,000-yard, 30-touchdown quarterback. And while that sounds great, and it is great bars to reach, let me put that into a little bit of perspective here. Only 4 quarterbacks last year had 4,000 yards and 30-plus touchdowns in a season. Okay? And that was Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, and Dak Prescott. I certainly want Caleb Williams to be better than all 4 of the guys I just named there. Purdy, Goff, Prescott, and Jordan Love. I need him to be better than Jordan Love. So this idea of needing to be 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, I think it's something we have to get out of our heads. You can be a really successful quarterback in the NFL. You can win Super Bowls. You can be an MVP type of player without having to hit 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns every single year. It's a great idea of a benchmark, and it's certainly something I'd love to see Caleb Williams get for the Chicago Bears, but it's not what I'm going to judge his success on or off of. I want to go to a couple different rookies I think that is fair to compare Caleb to. These are rookies within this modern version of the NFL where it's a passing offense, it's a passing league, and guys he's being compared to a lot. First and foremost, 2 different guys, Andrew Luck and Trevor Lawrence. Andrew Luck and Trevor Lawrence are the names you hear a ton with Caleb Williams when you talk about the guys that they say, these are the generational quarterbacks. This guy would have been first in last year's draft. He would have been first in this year's draft, first in next year's draft. That's what Trevor Lawrence, Andrew Luck, and Caleb Williams have been talked about. The year before they came out, the year they came out, the year after they came out, they would be the first number 1 pick no matter in that span of 3 drafts. To me, that's how I look at it as like a generational quarterback, right? Someone who within their realm of a 3-year window would be the guy no matter what. And Caleb certainly is that. Would have been first last year, this year, and certainly next year. Andrew Luck is a rookie, 11-5. Love the winning record. Andrew Luck, 4,000 yards passing. So there you go, that 4,000-yard passing. 23 touchdowns only, 18 interceptions, turned the ball over a ton, and had a really low completion percentage. But Andrew Luck, if you remember, he was a big play type of quarterback. He loved the deep pass. Him and T.Y. Hilton created this really unique connection for a couple years there. Only 54% completion passes for Andrew Luck. He did, however, rush for 5 touchdowns. That's something I think I'd love to see Caleb Williams bring and keep with the Chicago Bears offense. Having the mobility of a quarterback Caleb Williams does to be able to score touchdowns throwing and running and not losing the threat of running as a thing. Meanwhile, Trevor Lawrence, disastrous rookie year because of everything that went on with Ohio State coach Urban Meyer getting his chance to coach Trevor Lawrence. That feels like so long ago now, just a couple years ago. But Trevor Lawrence completed the balls much better. 59% completion percentage, 3,600 yards passing, 12 touchdowns passing. That's it. 17 TDs. So a lot of interceptions as well, just like Andrew Luck. Meanwhile, did run for 334 yards and also 2 touchdowns. Now, I will say Trevor Lawrence's second year, much better, 9-8, 4,113 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 291 yards rushing, 5 rushing touchdowns. And so I look at Caleb Williams and immediately off the bat, I think to myself, in this world, I'm stealing Andrew Luck's kind of win total and Trevor Lawrence's second-year win total because the Bears are not a traditional number 1 overall pick team. They're really picking 9th in this draft. They're a 7-win team. So getting to a 7-win team, I expect that's where I'm going to look for my win total projection. I'm going to expect somewhere between 9 and 11 wins for Caleb Williams. Basement 9, 11 ceiling as a rookie with that Andrew Luck. I would also include a lot of the second-year stat line for Trevor Lawrence is what I would love to see from Caleb Williams. Close to 4,000 yards passing. Trevor Lawrence did in his second year. 25 touchdowns, but lower on the interceptions. For Caleb, to me, one of the keys is not turning the ball over. I want to see someone who comes in here and has control over the offense and has an understanding that keeping the ball and not turning the ball over is really important. Before I move on to a couple other comparisons I want to make, I want to throw Kyler Murray's rookie year in there as well. To me, Caleb Williams, Patrick Mahomes, kind of the ceiling is my NFL comparison for him. The basement is Kyler Murray. I fully expect him to be at least as good as Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, we've already seen him lead his team to the playoffs once and have a really dynamic rookie year. If you remember Kyler Murray's rookie year, 20 touchdown passes, only 12 interceptions. I like that. They were 5-10-1. He led them to the playoffs in his second year. 3,700 yards passing, a really solid number, 64% completion percentage. I key in on that for a guy like Caleb Williams. Over 60% is great. Also, his rushing numbers are what I project out for Caleb. 544 yards rushing, 4 rushing touchdowns. Overall, that to me is a stat line from a rookie season from a Kyler Murray that I think is really comparable. Caleb Williams a little bit bigger, but he moves very similar to Kyler, extremely accurate like Kyler, but a little bit more of the big arm, kind of in the pocket mobility and size of a Patrick Mahomes, even though his game does resemble Kyler's a ton. I want to touch on this with Caleb Williams as well. For my expectations for Caleb Williams, realistically, the Chicago Bears moved off of a quarterback I liked and I had a lot of faith in and I had put a lot of emotional energy into, in Justin Fields. So Justin Fields last year, 5-8, 61% completion percentage. So again, I need Caleb to be around 60 or higher. 2,500 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions. Meanwhile, rushed for 657 yards, 4 touchdowns. I don't expect Caleb Williams to rush for over 600 yards. If he's able to do that, I think that'd be a really awesome addition to the offense, but I don't expect that. It's not an expectation for me for Caleb Williams as a rookie. But again, Justin Fields didn't play all the games, missed 4 games. Health is going to be something I hope and I'm expecting from Caleb Williams as well. One of the biggest downfalls for Justin Fields in his 3 years in the league so far is he has not been able to consistently stay healthy. That was a detriment to him this year as he was trying to earn the job as the Bears franchise quarterback going forward, which obviously the Chicago Bears decided to move off him. Now, in total last year, the Chicago Bears 7-10, and as a team passing 3,096 yards, 19 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. But the big key is the Chicago Bears quarterbacks took 50 sacks last year. 50 sacks. That is a huge number that I need to see Caleb Williams bring down drastically. Talking about turning the ball over, throwing interceptions, the sacks are just as crucial. Making sure the sack numbers are way, 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 way lower than 50. That is an insane amount of sacks. That is almost 3 a game. It's just crazy. So bringing down the sack total is going to be crucial. So in totality, what are my ideal projections for Caleb Williams as a rookie, as a Chicago Bear, after being the number 1 overall pick? I'd love to see 10-7. I'd love to see him get to 10 wins. I'd really love to see him get to about 3,500 yards passing. I'd love to see a touchdown interception ratio about 25-10, especially if I think the Bears, what I did in a previous video, should go with Rome Odunze at number 9. Already starting to see some Rome Odunze connections at the draft. They flew in together. Some video coming out of Detroit, them together today. 25-10, I think, is realistic. Low interception numbers. I really want that from Caleb Williams. 400 yards rushing, 4 rushing touchdowns, 60% completion percentage, and please, for the love of God, less than 40 sacks in a season. If Caleb Williams is able to do that, if he's able to get around 3,500 yards, around 25 touchdown passes, keep the TD to interception ratio at least 2-1, and get down on the sacks, rush for a couple touchdowns, and use his legs as sparingly as a threat, and is something that keeps the defense honest, I'll be beyond ecstatic with the first year of Caleb Williams. Most importantly, for us building around Caleb Williams to the future, got to see durability, got to see accuracy, and please cut down on the sacks. Quick decision making and accuracy is extremely important at the NFL level. I'm extremely excited to see Caleb Williams in Chicago Bears uniform. Anything more than that is going to be icing on the cake. If he has a rookie season like CJ Stroud, I might as well get a Caleb Williams tattoo right here. Just put on my neck. I'll put Caleb Williams for you. I'll be honest when I say that. Anything CJ Stroud like, I'll take it and I'll run with it. I'm not saying he has to be CJ Stroud in order for me to not claim he's a bust or anything like that. I'm just saying those are my kind of realistic expectations. You got to be better than what the Bears were last year for the Bears to commit all the resources and the pick and passing on the haul of things they could get for him. So Bears, you owe it to him to support him. You owe it to him to build around him in the right way. You owe it to him to make sure he has everything he needs to be successful in this organization. Also, I just watched the new Bears stadium release video of the projected what they want to build downtown the lakefront. A+. They nailed it. It looks awesome. As always, follow me on Twitter and Instagram /X at Mark Hespin. Like and subscribe here to the YouTube channel at Mark Hespin. Follow the show on the Mark KHMO on Facebook. You can always search us on Facebook and then tune in every Saturday morning, News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. We'll see you on Saturday and then again next week for another one of these middle of the week update videos. That's the way I wanted to say it.